Hi friends, welcome to this video. This is a quants video. I have prepared it specially for the people who are about to give their MBA entrance exams or their BBA entrance exams, or it will be helpful in other quantitative exams as well. So the topic that we are going to cover today is percentages and partnerships. First of all, let me tell you a brief about this topic. This is one of the easiest topic that you will face in the quant exam. Easiest because there is not too much of difficulty that can arise in the questions coming from these topics. There is a fixed pattern. The questions come from those pattern only. There are no alien questions that are going to come in your exam. There will be no surprises from these topics, and that's the reason that you can prepare these topics well. So what I have tried to do in this video is I've actually tried to make points and explain everything in points so that nothing is left and you can remember everything in sequence and nothing misses out. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to discuss few things with you today in this topic, and these things will be: we will first discuss how to find percentages. We will do it by two methods. Then we'll be discussing the how to find percentage increase and percentage decrease. Then we will be discussing how to calculate successive increase and decrease in percentage. Then we will be discussing how to calculate the percentage to get to the original value. Then we will be discussing the concepts of percentage points, and last but not the least, we will be discussing rules of partnership. So let's move ahead and discuss the first point. So how to find the percentages? General method. So first let us look at what is percentage. Percentage by its term means percentage, means per 100. Whenever we talk about anything and we tell that this is the value out of 100, we call that as percentage. So percentage means per 100, that is 20% means a value of 20 out of 100. So suppose we have to find 20% of 200. So going by the definition, we can say it is 20 out of 100 plus 20 out of the remaining 100. So it becomes 40 out of 200. So 20% of 200 becomes 40. The general formula that we will use for calculating the percentages is A%B is equal to A upon 100 into B. For example, if we have to calculate 25% of 400, it will be 25 upon 100 into 400, and you will get 100 from it. Fine. So let us look into some questions. So suppose we have to find 17% of 250. So using the formula above, A%B is equal to A upon 100 into 100, we can calculate it like this. This is 17 upon 100 into 250 is equals to 17 into 250 upon 100 is equals to 17 into 5 by 2 is equals to 85 by 2 equal to 42.5. Let us look at another question. It is 120% of 250. We have to find 120% of 250. So again, going by the above formula, it will be 120 upon 100 into 250 is equals to 120 into 250 upon 100 is equals to 120 into 5 by 2 is equals to 300. So I hope that you have understood the meaning of percentage, and you have also understood how to calculate the percentage. If you think I am going too fast, please pause, take a look at what I have explained, and just make sure that you are through with it and you are able to calculate the percentages. This is the general method, but in general we won't be using this method. Ironically, we won't be using this method. The reason being, this method takes time. It is there we had some easy values. You have to calculate 17% of 250, and it is very easy to calculate 17% of 250. But what if the values are a bit difficult? Then this method becomes too much calculative, and then the questions become too much difficult. So let us look at the shortcut method for calculating the percentages. So how to find percentage by shortcut method? So first of all, whatever the question is, you have to calculate three things. First of all, calculate 50% of the number, then calculate 10% of the number, and then calculate 1% of the number. If you know how to calculate these three things, you will be able to calculate any percentage. Sorry. So you have to calculate the 50%, and the 50% of the number is equals to number divided by 2. 10% of the number is equal to same number but with a decimal place at one place from the right. That is, you have to put a decimal from one place from the right. 1% of the number is equal to the same number but with a decimal placed at two places from the right. What I mean is, like, suppose the number is 250, so 50% of 250 is equals to 250 by 2 is equals to 125. 10% of 250 is equals to 250 with a decimal placed here, so this becomes 25. And 1% of 250 is equals to 2.50, so that means it is equals to 2.5. Now let us see how we are going to calculate the percentage using this method. Suppose you have to calculate 17% of 250. Now just pause the video and try to calculate 10% of 250. Then try to calculate 1% of 250. Multiply the 1% by 7 and add it to the 10% of 250. That is sorry for my throat. 17 is equals to 10 plus 7. So 17% is equals to 10% plus 7% is equals to 10% of 250 plus 7% of 250. 7% is equals to 1 into 7, so 17% of 250 becomes equals to 10% of 250 is equals to 25 plus 1% of 250 into 7. That means 2.5 into 7 is equals to 17.5. So the total 17% becomes 25 plus 17.5 is equals to 42.5. The shortcut, it is shortcut because I have actually made it calculated in a lot of steps, and you can see that it contains a lot of steps, but in general you can just calculate it by, in your memory. 17% of 250, simply, what is 17% of 250? It is 10% plus 7%. What is 10% of 250? It is 25. What is 7% of 250? Just calculate the 1%, it is 2.5. So 7% will be 2.5 into 7. What is 2.5 into 7? That is 25 7s, it is 175, so 17.5. Add 25 in plus 17.5, you get 42.5. So it is a very shortcut method. You can just do it by in a memory. Let us look at another question. The question is calculate 120% of 250. Now we know that 100% of a number is equals to number. So 120% of 250 means 100% of 250, that is 250 plus 20% of 250. To calculate the 20% of 250, calculate 10% of 250 multiplied by 2. So that means 100% of 250, 250 plus 10% of 250, 25 into 2, that is 50. So that becomes 250 plus 50 is equals to 300. Look at the solution if you want. It is 120 is equals to 100 plus 20, 100 plus 10 plus 10. That becomes 250 plus 25 plus 25 is equals to 300. I hope you have understood this shortcut method. Always try to use this method whenever you are dealing with a percentage containing of mixed fractions, or you are dealing with tough numbers. Always use this method in your competitive exam. It will save a lot of time. Just practice few questions on it from any booklet that you are using, and you will be through. So moving ahead, now we have to understand how to find percentage increase and decrease. Well, this is one of the most easiest part of calculating the that we are going to discuss in the percentage, but a lot of students do mistake in this. The mistake that they do is they put the wrong denominator sometimes, they put the wrong numerator sometimes. They don't understand how this concept works. So let us look at a formula, then I will tell you a trick so that you never miss it out. Okay, so percentage increase from A to B. For example, percentage increase from 20 to 30. That 20% to 30%. So that is equals to B minus A upon A into 100. That is from 20 to 30. This is equals to 30 minus 20 upon 20 into 100. So, but the trick is, so that you never miss out, the trick is the denominator part. Whenever you are calculating the percentage increase, is the smaller number, always the smaller number out of the two. So the trick is, while calculating percentage increase, always put the smaller number in the denominator. That is, example, weight of a boy increases from 50 to 75. Find percentage increase. So percentage increase is equals to 75 minus 50 upon 50. 50 here is the smaller number, into 100 is equals to 25 by 50 into 100 is equals to 50%. Fine. Percentage decrease is calculated in the same way as percentage increase, and it is equals to A minus B upon A into 100. Here always this value A in the denominator is the larger of the two value. In while calculating the percentage decrease, always use A, the denominator, as the larger of the two value. So let us look at an example. So trick I have already told you, while calculating percentage decrease, always put the larger number in the denominator. Looking at an example, weight of a boy decreases from 75 to 50. Find the percentage decrease. The percentage decrease in the weight is equals to 75 minus 50 upon the larger number, that is 75 into 100 is equals to 25 upon 75 into 100 is equals to 33.33%. So I hope it is clear. Always remember, while calculating the increase, it is the smaller number in the denominator. While calculating the decrease, it is the larger number in the denominator, and you will never do a mistake in these kind of questions. Moving ahead, how to calculate successive increase in percentage. For example, if I say a value increased by 20% in the first month, 25% in the second month, 30% in the third month, find the total increase in the percentage. You cannot just add 20 plus 25 plus 30 and say the total increase is equals to 75%. You cannot do it. There is a method you have to calculate. If you look at the general method that we use, the general method is very simple. It says price of a good increased by 25% in May, by 20% in June, and by 20% in July. Find the total percentage increase in price. So you calculate it like this. You assume the initial price to be 100. So now the increase of 25% of 100 is equals to 25. So the price becomes 125. In the month of June, there is another increase of 20%. So you increase it by 20%, and this 20% increase of 125 is equals to 125 plus 25. So that becomes 150. And then in the last month, in the July, again increased by 20%. So calculate 20% of 150 is equals to 30. Added to 150. 150 plus 30, the number becomes 180. So you started with 100 and you ended up with 180. So the increase is 80%. But as you see, if the values are simple here, it is 25%, 20% and 20%. So it is easy to calculate. But in your entrance exams, the value can be difficult. Plus this method involves a lot of calculation. So what we are going to do is we are going to use a formula in these kind of questions. And the formula is very simple. The formula says, if the value increases by A% in the first month, then by B% and then by C%, so the total increase is equals to 100 plus A upon 100 into 100 plus B upon 100 into 100 plus C upon 100 minus of 1 into 100. So let us look at the example of the above only. So the above example says, in the formula it is 100 plus 25 upon 100 into 100 plus 20 upon 100 into 100 plus 20 upon 100 minus 1 into 100. So this becomes equals to 125 by 100 into 120 by 100 into 120 by 100 minus 1 into 100 is equals to 125 by 100 divided by 25, that is become 5 by 4. This divided by 20 becomes 6 by 5. Again this becomes 6 by 5 minus 1 into 100. Solve it, it becomes 36 by 20 minus 1 into 100 is equals to 16 by 20 into 100 cut this is 21s are, 25s are, 5 into 16, and then this becomes 80%. So by using a simple formula we have calculated the percentage increase. Similarly, while calculating the percentage decrease, we are going to use the same formula, just that now the formula will not be 100 plus number upon number, it will be 100 minus. Just replace the plus sign by minus sign and you will get the answer. So suppose the value decreases by 25% in first month, 20% by second month, and 20% in the third month. So the value becomes 100 minus 25 upon 100 into 100 minus 20 upon 100 into 100 minus 20 upon 100 minus 1 into 100. This becomes equals to, cut this by 25, 3 by 4, cut this by 20 into 4 by 5, cut this by 20 into 4 by 5, minus 1 into 100. Solve this, you will get 12 by 25 minus 1 into 100 is equals to minus 13 by 25 into 100. Cut this will be 25 ones are, 25 fours are, 4 into 13 gives minus 52%. This is minus indicates percentage decrease, so it is decreased by 52%. Okay, so what if there is increase and decrease both involved in the question? That is, suppose the value increases by 25% in the first month, then it decreases by 20% in the second month, then it again increases by 20% in the third month. How are you going to solve that question? So whenever there is a percentage increase, add, that is 100 plus a will come in the numerator. Whenever there will be percentage decrease, 100 minus a will come in the numerator. So going by that logic, we will be able to calculate the percentage increase or decrease using the same formula that we were using for the above two methods. If the value at the end comes out to be positive, there is an overall percentage increase. If the value at the end comes out to be negative, there is an overall percentage decrease. I haven't used any example for it, but you can try, you can consider it. Like for the first year, consider that the value has decreased by 25%, then again it has increased by 20%, then again decreased by 20%. So in the numerator, the decrease will become 75 by 100, then the increase here will become 120 by 100, and then the decrease of 20% will again become 80 by 100. Rest, the formula will remain the same. So let's move on and see. So a 25% increase followed by 20% decrease means, okay, so I have actually used an example here. So suppose there is a 25% increase followed by 20% decrease, that means it becomes 125 by 100 into 80 by 100 minus 1 into 100, that becomes equals to 5 by 4, cut this by 25, into, cut this by 24 by 5 into 100 minus 1. Solving it, you will get, everything will cancel out, 1 minus 1 will be 0, so 0%. That means there is no increase or decrease in the net value. Okay, so moving on, how to calculate the percentage to get the original value. What I mean is, sometimes the question is like that, and a value increases by 20%. Okay, so by how much percent should the value be decreased now to get the original value back? Or the value decreases by 20%, so by how much percent the value should be increased now to get to the original value? So all these type of questions can be solved by using a simple formula, and the formula is very simple. It says if a value increases by a%, then by what percent should it be reduced, so that we get the original value back, and the formula is a upon 100 plus a into 100. That is, so if a price of a good increases by 20%, suppose the price of a good increases by 20%, then the value of a here is 20, and so that by the question is, then we have to reduce it by how much to get the original value. So you can solve it like this. This will be 20 upon 100 plus 20 into 100 is equals to 16.66%. So if the value of a good increases by 20%, to get the original value back, we have to reduce it by 16.66%. One way to remember this is that when we have to calculate how much we have to reduce it, we want the denominator to be large so that the value decreases. So we always add in the denominator. but whenever you have to calculate the percentage increase, that is we have decreased the value by a%, then by what percent should it be increased to get the original value? We do the same formula, but in the denominator, as we want the value to increase, we reduce the value. So this becomes a upon 100 minus a into 100. So I'm sorry, I have to go back to the previous slide. Yeah, so here it is. So it says a upon 100 minus a into 100. So if the price decreases by 25%, then it should be increased by 25 upon 100 minus 25 into 100 is equals to 25 by 75 into 100 is equals to 33.33%. So if the question comes in your exam and it says that the value of a share increased by 25% from 2001 to 2002, by how much percent should it decrease to get the original value? You use this method. And even if the question says by how much value should it increase to reach to the original value, you will use the method mentioned here, that is 100 minus a in the denominator. So if you remember this formula, you will be able to solve all these kinds of questions. Fine. So moving on. So then there is a concept of percentage points. So sometimes in data interpretation, generally these questions are asked, and sometimes even in the competitive exams they are asked, and now they don't want you to calculate the percentage increase or decrease. What they want is, they want you to calculate the percentage point increase or the percentage point decrease. How you calculate that is very simple. To calculate the percentage point decrease or increase, you simply subtract the two values. Suppose if the value of a good increases from 20% to 30%, then to find the percentage point increase, we simply have to subtract the two values. So the percentage point increase is equals to 30 minus 20 is equals to 10 percentage point. Similarly, if value decreases from say 65 to 40%, the percentage point decrease is equals to 65 minus 40 is equals to 25 percentage point. It is very simple concept. It is just that you must know what is percentage point. It is simple subtraction of the two numbers. Sometimes this is asked in your data interpretation questions. You have to calculate two values and then they just ask the percentage point increase and decrease. Make sure that you are not calculating the percentage decrease or percentage increase when the question is asking about the percentage point increase and percentage point decrease. Fine. Okay, so moving on. Now the next concept that we are going to discuss is the rules of partnership. For a partnership is when, what is a partnership? A partnership is when two or more people work together in order to share the final profit. Fine. So 4 golden rules of partnership are there. The first rule says the profit is always divided in the ratio of the amount invested if the time period for investment is same. Please excuse me. Suppose you and your friend start a company and you both invest a certain sum of money for 1 year. You are investing 10,000 and your friend is investing 5,000. So now your profit will be divided in the ratio of 2:1. Obviously you have invested more, so you will be getting the more amount. So the second rule says the profit is divided in the ratio of time for which the money is invested if the money invested is same. That is, if both of you are investing 5,000 rupees, but if your friend is investing it for 6 months and if you are investing it for 12 months, you will get more money. You will get twice as much money as he will get, because you have invested the same money for twice the period. Fine. The third rule says the profit is divided in the ratio of investment into time period if the investment and time period both are different. Suppose you are investing 10,000 and he is investing 5,000, and you are investing for 12 months and he is investing for 6 months. So your share will be 10,000 into 12 and his share will be 5,000 into 6. That is, the ratio will be 12 into 10,000 divided by 6 into 5,000. Fine. And then there is another important rule that you must remember, especially for tough entrance exams like CAT, ZAT, IFT. You must remember, if there is some commission involved, then always first subtract the total commission from the profit and then find the share of each person. Suppose you and your friend are starting the company, and at the end you get a profit of 5,000 and your friend earns a commission of 1,000 for doing some extra work. So first of all, subtract that 1,000 from 5,000, get to a profit of 4,000, and then divide that 4,000 using the same rules that we have discussed in the point 1, 2 and 3. Let us look at some examples to understand this concept. Suppose Rahul and Jyotsna started a business with an investment of 18,000 and 45,000 respectively, and at the end of an year they made a profit of 3,500. Find the share of each. So as we can see, the investment of Rahul and Jyotsna are different, but they are both investing for the same time period. So the money will be divided, the profit will be divided in the ratio of the investment. So calculating the ratio is 18,000 upon 45,000. That becomes 9 2s are 9 5s are, all 0 cancels out. That's 2 by 5. So the 2 by 7 part, that is 2 upon 5 plus 2, that is 2 upon 7th part of the total money goes to Rahul, and 5 upon 7th part of the total money goes to Jyotsna. So this will be the share. Looking at another example, suppose Rahul and Jyotsna started a business with an investment of 18,000 each, and at the end of 6 months Rahul withdrew his share of 18,000. At the end of 1 year they made a profit of 3,500. Find the share of each. So now they both have invested 18,000 rupees. Rahul has invested for 6 months, Jyotsna has invested for 12 months. So now the money will be divided, the profit will be divided on the ratio of the time period. So the ratio becomes 6 by 12, that is 1 by 2. So 1 upon 1 plus 2, that is 1 by third part of 3,500 goes to Rahul, and 2 by third part of 3,500, that is 2,333.33 goes to Jyotsna. I hope it is clear. If it is not clear, please stop here, take a look at the examples we have discussed, and then move on. Okay, so moving on, now Rahul and Jyotsna started a business with an investment of 18,000 and 45,000 respectively, and at the end of 6 months Rahul withdrew his share. They made a profit of 3,500 at the end of 1 year. Find the share of each. So now the investment is different, the time period is also different, the ratio in which the profit will be divided is equal to the investment into the time period, the ratio of investment into the time period. So going by that formula, the money will be divided in the ratio of 18,000, that is the share of Rahul, into 6, that is his time period, upon 45,000 share of Jyotsna, into 12, her time period, and this ratio comes out to be 2 by 5 into 1 by 2 is equals to 1 by 5. So Rahul gets 1 upon 1 plus 5, that is 1 by 6 of the total amount, that is 583.33, and Jyotsna get 5 by 6, 5 upon 1 plus 5 of the total amount, that is 2916.66. Fine. So let us look at another example, and this example says Rahul started the business with rupees 20,000, and after 5 months Jyotsna joined him with 45,000. Rahul received 2,000 rupees as commission for managing the marketing, and they made a profit of 9,400 after 12 months. Find the share of each. So here you can see that the money they have invested is different. Rahul have invested 20,000, Jyotsna has invested 45,000. Rahul has done it for the entire 12 months, while Jyotsna joined after 5 months, so she did it only for 7 months, and plus Rahul also got the commission. So the ratio in which the profit will be divided will be equal to the ratio of the investment into the time period, but before dividing the profit we will be subtracting the 2,000 commission that Rahul got. So looking at it, the ratio is 20,000 into 12, that is the share of Rahul into his time period, upon 45,000 into 7, the share of Jyotsna and her time period. The ratio becomes 48 by 63, that is 16 by 21. Now rupees 2,000 is received by Rahul as commission, so subtract that from the profit, so the profit minus commission becomes 7,400. This 7,400 will now be divided in the ratio of 16:21. So the share of Rahul will be 16 upon 16 plus 21, that is 16 upon 37 into 7400, that becomes equals to 3200. So Rahul's total share is equals to 3200 plus his commission, that is 2000, is equals to 5200, and Jyotsna's share is equals to 21, that is the 21 from this ratio 16 by 21. So 21 upon 16 plus 21, that is 37. So 21 upon 37 into 7400, and this share becomes equals to 4200. Fine. So these are all the type of questions that can be covered in percentages and partnerships. I know that I have moved a lot fast in this video, but then the reason is I don't want to waste your time here. If you're not understanding something, you always have the liberty to pause the video, look at it, solve the questions, and then move on. So if you are having problem with my speed, please pause the video at specific times and then just wait there and move it on your speed. So this is the end of the video. I will be discussing few questions related to this topic, few important questions, around 25 to 30 difficult questions and easy questions as well of this topic will be discussed in the upcoming videos. So I am Ishant Singh. My email ID is ishantsingh2512@gmail.com. You can always comment here, or you can always contact me. I'll be more than happy to help you. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Have a good day.